Oh, hello, Hannah.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, very good, thank you, and very pleased to meet you. We've had lots of toing and froing, and it's really nice to have you here and to connect with you in person, even in the virtual sense. So
Yes, thank you.
So Hannah is passionate about creating positive change in the lives of people all around the world. Hannah has worked in the charity space since 2014 in community and international development in countries including Uganda, Kenya, and Costa Rica. She's particularly passionate about women's empowerment and sustainable charity initiatives. She has a bachelor degree in visual arts and behavioural studies and is currently finishing a graduate certificate in international development. She's working part-time with JustPeoples as a consultant and also works in e-commerce.
In 2017, as a young and naive 23-year-old, I made a decision to travel around Africa, a decision that ultimately changed my life. I went looking for an adventure for gorillas, lions, and magical sunsets. But what really stuck with me was the people I met over there. Of course, I wanted to go in open minded, but I think we all have an idea of the poverty that exists in Africa and the desperation of its people. But that's not what I found. Instead, I found a strong community spirit and an inherent strength and dignity in every single person I met. They welcomed me with open arms, they told me stories, they showed me how to dance, and they shared their lives with me. The biggest impact I saw was how innovative they were. They were able to do so much with so little. Day after day, the local people I met were using whatever resources they had to share, teach, inspire, and influence others in the community. I met people who cared for abandoned children, who organized meetups for single mums, who educated kids who dropped out of school, and I even saw boys who were previously living in the slums housed. Now, these people weren't rich in the traditional sense. They had very little money to give, but they had passion and they had heart and they gave whatever they could: knowledge, services, advice, influencing and changing everyone they met little by little. I'd expected to leave Africa with some great photos and stories of safaris and adventures, but instead I left with a renewed purpose and passion. My introduction to local charity initiatives changed my idea of what charity could and should be, not just giving money to massive organizations and not just handouts, but giving local people the opportunity to make real, sustainable change within their own communities. It was while living in Uganda that I started working with JustPeoples. JustPeoples connects business owners and everyday Australians who want to have an influence and make a change in the world to unique charity projects to fund or fundraise for. I began to introduce JustPeoples to local people, I met across Africa who had a proven track record of designing and delivering sustainable and life-changing projects. One of these people is Robert. He was born in Uganda and he went through a lot of hardship of his own, but chose to pay that forward and started a school for underprivileged children. He also supports a large community living on a rural and very traditional island with no power, a large refugee community, and only one school and clinic for its 20,000 inhabitants. In this community, Robert identified the large number of teenage girls who had no access to formal education, very little opportunity for an income, and quite a hopeless future. But he saw the potential for change. Now, most of you here tonight are small business owners, and I want you to think back to the beginning of your journey where you had an idea, a passion, or a dream. Though your geography and circumstances might differ a little bit from this community, I bet your dream doesn't. Robert had the idea to teach these girls to make products they could sell on to their local community, such as soap bars, baked goods, and clothing. Through JustPeoples, a business owner here in Melbourne ran a networking event to raise money to teach these girls to make soap and become small business owners themselves. Now, these girls don't have social media marketing, they don't have networking events like this one, and they don't have Google ads, but they work really hard and they're driven to take control of their own lives. To date, Robert has trained over 50 young women, and he's now building a women's vocational centre on the island. This change has wide-reaching impacts. These women are gaining confidence, independence, literacy skills, and they're able to teach their sisters, their daughters, their friends. They're able to afford medical care and food, and they're able to leave abusive or volatile situations. A small investment from people here in Australia is changing a whole community. I'd like to say a special thank you to Anna, Lisa, Simon, John, and of course Karen, who have donated their skills pro bono and also made significant financial contributions to make the work we do at JustPeoples possible. We've all said we want to change the world, which seems impossible. But what if it's not? What if we can all make small changes in our lives, our wider communities, and even international communities? And little by little, as the ripples get bigger, we will see the effects of change take hold. So why is change so important? Because it only takes one small step to change the world. Thank you.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. I was looking at the comments in the box as well, and everybody thinks, Stephen actually thinks everybody needs a car. Everybody wins a car because everybody's doing such an amazing job that you're all winners. Wonderful encouragement in the boxes, and lots of clapping and lots of great things. So make sure that speakers, that you do look at the comments and pat yourselves on the back. And Hannah, thank you for sharing that story, and it's a pleasure to help amplify and inspire people with the work that JustPeoples does. So thank you very much.